This is St. Louis on the Air from St. Louis Public Radio. I'm Elaine Cha. The countdown to Pride Month ends in just 8 days. Soon there will be parades, parties, rainbow flags, and plentiful glitter to celebrate LGBTQ+ communities and commemorate the long, continuous fight for basic human rights for queer individuals. For Black queer people, creating a space for joy in a time of persistent political and societal oppression is an everyday necessity. One example of that is ballroom culture, which was created and championed by Black members of the LGBTQ community across the nation and, of course, right here in St. Louis. Balls, just like Pride Month, bring people together for dancing, laughter, and cheer, even as society and legislation rejects people simply for living as their true selves. Tomorrow night, a ball held in the Grove Business District promises all that, and to be the best ball ever. Here to discuss that pre-Pride kickoff are two legends in the local ballroom scene. Maven Lee is the founder of the Tens Ball Planning Company and co-host of tomorrow's Best Ball Ever event. We also have Vanessa Frost, another co-host of tomorrow's ball. Now, ball culture is something that not many people are familiar with, and I'm among those, so I'm learning a lot through our conversation today. Maven, can you talk about what ball culture is?
Yes. So ball culture is a safe space. It started off as a safe space for Black and Latino folks, LGBTQ folks in New York City. And so it was a place where they could come, enjoy themselves, be authentic, be themselves. It was usually at the wee hours of the morning, 1 a.m., 12 a.m., in the probably the venues that you probably wouldn't want to be in, small venues, dark venues, whatever, just so they could hide from, regular society and enjoy themselves. And it's basically a space where we are creative. We show our creativity. We get to be ourselves. We get to be the celebrities that we might have dreamed of. We get to live out our imaginations through ballroom.
And you are the founder of a company that produces balls, right? So how did that get its start here?
So I've been in ballroom for almost 15 years, and I started off really discovering myself as a Black queer person. Ballroom really helped me find myself coming from the church, more of a church community. Mm-hmm. And so ballroom really helped me understand my own identity. And so I realized that a lot of people could benefit from this environment. And so I had connections to resources, and I started to throw balls over the years. And I decided, well, why not make this a company? So I created Tens. And so Tens is this really innovative, creative space where we basically just bring ballroom to people who may not know about it otherwise.
Yeah. Now, Vanessa, you are a co-host with Maven for an event that's happening tomorrow.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to your involvement with ball, how did you get your start?
Oh, that's such a funny story. Maven actually has a big part in my my venture into ballroom. I was 18, and he literally said, "You know what? You're really pretty." And at the time, I wasn't transitioned yet, so I was very fresh in the eyes of the LGBTQ+ community. And he was just like, "Yeah, I think you would do great things." And so I walked my first ball that week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we just kind of created our relationship from there, and that's been my brother ever since.
Yeah. Now, we opened with a little bit of music. What is the soundtrack for balls like?
Exclusive. I would like to label it as
exclusive. Okay.
Yeah.
In what way?
Just because it's a different sound. It's like house music meets hip hop meets a bit of like EDM almost, like on the verge. It's like all of those mixed together to create a super sound for our community and for our creativity.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good example of it. I know I've always said that ballroom music could be its own genre. I think that if some of the ballroom, which are commentators, so how there's rappers, there's singers, there's even poets who do poetry to music. Our vocalists in ballroom are the commentators and the DJs who make the beats, and they make this really creative music that, I know one person, Kevin Jay-Z Prodigy, who's an icon as a commentator. The amount of shares and views that, his music got over the years, I'm like, man, this could totally be its own genre.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it is exclusive then. It is its own thing. No, we're kind of getting a little bit of a picture of what ball looks like. There's a lot of terminology in ballroom culture that isn't quite mainstream. And I realize that there are layers to many of these things. But let's do some rapid fire definitions to get our listening audience up to speed.
Okay.
So, Vanessa, what is a house?
A host, someone who captivates the crowd, who keeps the party going, someone who is ready to make sure everyone has a good time and feels free in that environment.
And what is a house? My Canadian accent. HOUSE, house. Yeah. Maven.
So a house is a family. It's a team. Very similar to, I try to explain this this is the easiest way, the Olympics, how the Olympics is different countries being represented, and each country has a group of people that represent their country. It's their team. And so ballroom is kind of like the Olympics. It's this competition where you have a number of different categories that people can compete in. And so you have different houses that represent a different house name, and that team competes against each other in those different categories.
Okay. Vanessa, what is a category?
A category is something that is for you and you only, something that you specialize in. So each person that comes to ballroom has a specific talent, rather it be fashion, rather it be realness, rather it be sex siren, rather it be performance, which is most popular within, I guess, the heteronormative community. You like to see voguing, you like to see the dips, you like to see the twists and turns and all of that. So each person that comes to ballroom has a specific thing that they're talented at and that they pretty much make their own.
Yeah. What does it mean to get a 10, Vanessa?
Oh, what does it mean to get a 10? I'm so glad you asked.
Get your 10s.
Get your 10s. That means you are absolutely serving it in whatever your category is, whatever you brought it as, you are serving it to the fullest extent of your ability.
Now, realness is another one. What is realness, Maven?
So the category realness, I feel like Vanessa might be a better person to answer that question than me. So realness is, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some people have different opinions about realness. Some people really don't like the category, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it is basically, I think of it as kind of a sarcastic way of looking at heteronormativity and how we view what being real is, what it means to be, what it means to look like you are a heterosexual person. What does it mean to look like you are a cisgender person?
Okay.
And so, yeah, that would be my.
Yeah.
Would you think that would be a good definition?
I think that would definitely be a good definition. A lot of the times at balls, we would write a category, like for realness, we would say, bring us a celebrity look. Okay, so female figures, rather it be drags, rather it be femme queens, which is trans women, for those that don't know. They would say, okay, well, I'm going to bring it as Beyonce.
Yeah.
And then for drag queens, we would say, okay, you guys bring it as Missy Elliott.
Okay.
And in a shortcut with, the bubble coat that she had on.
Yeah, totally seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then for the guys, we would say, bring it as Jay-Z for Thug's realness. Or Schoolboy, bring it as Tyga.
Harry Potter.
Or something of the sorts. So, yeah.
See, when I heard house, I thought of Harry Potter.
Like Slytherin?
Yes, very much so. And what are each of your categories?
Maybe you want to start that off?
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like you do that because I have so many. So both Vanessa and I are legends. And so to be a legend, you walk a category for a certain amount of years. You have a certain amount of cash prizes that you win, a certain amount of trophies that you win, a certain amount of places that you walk. And so I started walking the category All-American Runway.
Okay.
Which is, Typically, it's kind of a masculine presenting version of runway male modeling.
Okay.
And so I started walking that, and I became a legend in that category. And then I transitioned to Bazaar, which is the other category. And Bazaar is like out of this world, like looks and costumes. Like I've been like a huge, big blow up, like rainbow person, and I've been like, a toilet seat, and I've like
I remember that one.
like I've been like all of these, innovative things. And you get to do that in Bazaar. I've also walked Realness. I've Vogued, and I feel like I've walked something else too. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
So those are but my main are All American Runway and Bazaar.
And Bazaar, which are that's an interesting juxtaposition of categories. Vanessa, how about you?
Okay, so for me, I started off as drag's face. So face is a category that is based off of structure. It is based off of like your teeth, your skin, everything that it is to be beautiful as a person, whatever gender you decide to be.
Yeah.
So then I transcended over to realness, and then over to sex siren, which for those that don't know, sex siren is basically a category, a body positivity category, to just get you more comfortable with your body in any setting that you're in any clothing that you're in. And it's made up of different things. So, yeah, I'm legend for sex siren as well as realness.
And if someone were like me, coming in new, would I be able to tell right away who the legends are?
Well, there's legend statements and stars. So
LSS.
the LSS. So that is basically a call out to people that have paved the way in their categories. So if you're a new person coming in, there will be like some clapping, and then next thing you know, the commentator and the co-commentator would say, okay, let me see the legendary or the iconic or the Hall of Famer, So there's different levels and different tiers of where people can go in ballroom depending on how long they've been in ballroom.
Okay.
So legends are like, I think, 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
And then icons are 15 to 20, depending on how much of an impact.
Allegedly.
Depending on their impact. So
Okay. Vanessa Frost is a co-host of the Tens Ball, Best Party Ever. Best ball ever. Which is happening tomorrow. And Maven Lee is the founder of the Tens company,
Yes.
ball planning company, and also a co-host. So there are elements of contest and competition with balls. And there's also then prize money. How does that and coming together as community, how do those two things play well together?
Yeah. So, one of the things about Tens that makes it different, honestly, than mainstream ballroom is I have cultivated a certain kind of space where it's friendly competition. There is a little bit of shade, and shade is a little bit of ballroom. It's a little bit of attitude, right? But I make sure that people love on each other afterwards. They hug afterwards. Even if you get chopped, which we didn't talk about, because to be chopped is the opposite of tens. So if you don't get your tens, you can get chopped. And so if you get chopped, you don't get to move on. But what we do is we make sure that we educate you about what you've done, about what you need to improve on once you get chopped. And so I just bring in a lot of love and care and hugs and good jobs, and I think that it works out.
Okay. Now, the Best Ball Ever is a pre-Pride Month kickoff for St. Louis. And of course, Pride Month is typically celebrated in June as a time to uplift and remember the rights that queer civil rights leaders have fought for and continue to fight for today. Now, with the political climate being what it is, there are legislators rallying to restrict or end gender-affirming care. There are books that are getting pulled out of libraries, along with the host of societal issues that LGBTQ community members face, especially transgender people. How is this year's ball and the upcoming Pride Month different from others, if there is a difference? Vanessa?
I think for there to be, if there was any other time to make an impact during Pride Month, this would be the most impactful. Just because this is the time we want to show everyone that we're here and we want to stay here and that we want to continue on, living our journey and, being ourselves authentically and without strain from, the government or legislative.
Yeah. Maven? I know it's a big question.
Ask me that again.
Yeah, I mean, so, there's all of this, there's a particular political climate that we're living in.
Yeah.
And here in Missouri, legislators who have worked to restrict or end gender affirming care. There's also censorship with books that are deemed inappropriate. A lot of them are graphic novels, for example, with LGBTQ themes or characters. So this ball that's happening tomorrow, right? And Pride, like, how do you feel going into it?
I honestly think, being Black and queer it's a different kind of intersection, even when we're talking about, LGBTQ issues. And, ballroom, it's so interesting because this is a time period where ballroom is so hot right now. Everybody wants to, be involved with ballroom. Ballroom it's on like Beyonce's tour. It's on Taylor Swift's tour. It's on, it crosses so many lanes. And I'm actually going into it with a lot of, I want to say, strength and hope, because I think TENS and what we're doing with ballroom, we are making an impact. We are in spaces. We're using the energy and excitement that people have for ballroom to change people's minds, in a way through entertainment. There are some people who had opposing views, honestly, when it came to healthcare, when it came to trans rights, that have came to balls.
Sure. And
their points of views and perspective has changed because they saw the enjoyment. We have cis heterosexual people that come to balls. We have people from all across the world that come to balls. And it's a place where everybody can really be together and learn more about each other and their cultures.
Vanessa, where and how do you find joy in balls?
Oh, wow. Where do you find joy? I mean, it's in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in your category. It's in creating your look. You could be at work and you may hate the job that you're at. You know what I mean? But when you're, hot gluing your look together, when you're picking out your shoes, when you're ordering your wig, when you're, just getting everything together for this major event that's going to just kind of liberate you from your oppression of the week.
Yeah.
You look forward to it, and it's something that you find joy in.
Vanessa Frost is a co-host of the TENS Best Ball Ever, which is happening tomorrow, and Maven Logically is the founder and co-host of TENS Best Ball Ever. You can find a link to information about that event, and that will be at our website, stlonair.show. Thank you both for coming today, and good luck with everything that happens tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This episode was produced by Maya Norfleet.
Our executive producer is Alex Hoyer.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
Our podcast proudly supports St. Louis artists by using music from Life Creative Group.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations, and leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thank you.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.